Alright, what's going on? Good morning. First and foremost, I want to say thank you for everyone who joined the feed last night, the stream. I was trying some new stuff. Bear with me as I get my bearings. And again, thank everyone who watches these and comments and all that good stuff. I appreciate it. So, oh, and congratulations to the winners of the contest. We had shit. I forgot the names. Wait, we had well, I'll put it in the description, but congratulations, you won. What you won is kind of an IOU. Whenever I get a decent prize to give you. But oh, and if you don't know what the competition was, I made this one where I saw like a bunch of rabbits that day, like 11 rabbits. So I'm like, you can count how many rabbits there were. And the other one was, what does my kanji say on the shirt? Go over here. But yeah. But yeah, I as I was walking down here, I thought this is going to be a short video, but it might be longer or normal as usual. But let's see here. Today I got a full plate of activities. So one, I'm doing my walk. Two, I'm making this video. When I get back to the house, I'm gonna import this video into my motion graphic program. I think these files get really huge. I don't know, I'll do something. And then I'm gonna go to the gym and do the elliptical. And as I'm ellipticaling, I turn it into a gerund. I'm gonna watch my tutorials on Procreate. They say when you study, if you're active. So like when kids play and learn stuff, they learn it better. So I never tried this before. So maybe as I'm working out and sweating and listening to these or watching these audios, is getting pushed deeper into my memory. Alright, and then after that, come home, eat breakfast, or lunch. I'm gonna skip breakfast. I know it's the most important meal of the day, but I don't like to eat before I go to the gym. And then after that, I'm going to, I'll come back. I'm going to work on my my beat machine, SP. Yesterday I was in the car just looking for drum hits. Because the key, one of the keys is you need nice drum hits. Because usually when I do my little, my sessions in the car, they're improv. So I just get in the car, turn it on, and I start searching. And that could take forever. So last night, when I left the gym, I'm sitting in the parking lot, just going through different kicks and snares. So I wanted that bassy shit. So I did that. The samples or whatever, but the kicks, that's kind of like the glue. So I'm gonna set that up. I'm gonna do a mini Procreate drawing. Just practice to kind of see what it is, or see if I'm retaining, or use what I learned so I can retain it. Like the 4-finger touch, that brings up the copy and paste. I could not find that for the life of me the other day. Hold it, and it, I mean, if you know, you know. And then working in motion, try to do some graphic. So I'm shooting this in 360. You'll probably get a flat version of it, but I want to see if I could edit in 3D space. That'd be cool. Then I haven't been to the open mics for maybe 2 months, so I'm gonna head out there. And I guess I have to perform. I'd be weird if I didn't. But let's figure that out. And that would bring us to the nighttime. I think there's some other things on my list, but yeah, that's gonna be my day. Yeah. So in the stream last night, I have terrible short-term memory, or long-term, I don't know. Short as last night, but it was cool because I was getting a lot of questions, and I love to answer questions that I can answer. People will be asking me questions like, how the hell would I know? And it gets me all like frazzled. What do you think about this topic that you never thought about until I asked you? Well, I don't know. Let me think about it. What's your response? Like, they're putting me on the spot and I get all nervous. Try to evaluate things. My dad used to ask me questions. I mean, he asked me questions from time to time. But it'll be like, so, question. And I'm sitting there thinking about it. And he's like, answer me. Like he's upset that I'm not answering, as if I'm ignoring him or... But he kind of figured that's my speed. We have an interesting relationship. Interesting. Yesterday I cooked rice. I've never cooked rice in a rice pot. For me, that seems barbaric. You put it in a rice cooker and it just comes out. You know, I lived in Japan. Put it in a pot, you ultimately are going to burn the bottom rice, unless you keep stirring it, which I burn the bottom rice. But, you know, my dad will eat everything, waste nothing. Me, I probably would have threw that whole batch away. Because it's what? It's rice, man. It's not... But I'm wasteful. Don't be wasteful. But yeah, lots of questions. That was great. Someone came in. I don't know if they're a regular. I don't know. If they're a regular, they shouldn't even have said that. But they said, I heard you don't want to perform in the hood or something to that effect. And I was thinking of a way to answer, like, you know, defend my position. And then I'm just like, why the hell I gotta defend my position? I said what I said. That's what I mean. And plus, you know, I got other shit to do. It's like one of those questions. But like I'm pretty sure some academic type person made a list of all the people who died via hip-hop related in the past years. There's a lot. And the circumstances around them are usually the same. But yeah, man. I mean, I could die on this trail. That could happen. But that was an interesting thing. So, I guess it ties into that, but codes. The bro code, the street code, honor among thieves, the golden rule, I forget the thing doctors have that they take, oath, the autocratic oath, I don't know, Hippocratic oath, I think that's lawyers, but doctors have one too. But there's all these things that, depending where you come into, where you fit in that scheme, it may be something that is the law for you, but means nothing to another person. Like one of my rules that I always kind of adopted when vlogging or making content is not to mislead people for personal gain. This is a pretty big one. Good morning. It feels weird to me. Like someone reached out to me way back in the days, like, yo man, if you help me sell this product to your subscribers, I'll give you 20%. I looked at the product, I thought it wasn't a good product. So I gave up that 20%. Would it be nice to have an extra 20% coming to me? Yeah, but I gotta believe in it. I could never sell drugs because if I personally wouldn't take it, and I know that it could damage your life, your family's life, and all that. Alcohol, couldn't be an alcohol seller. Cigarettes, one of those shady car dealers, etc., etc. So that, like, it always been a thing. That now, if I believe in the product and it does have some adverse side effects, but I believe in the product, that's a different story. But that's always been my thing. Boom. But I usually encounter people that it's not their thing. So we get this kind of, well, you know, da-da-da, da-da-da-da. I'm like, I understand you're going to do what you do because you come from where you come from. Makes sense. But that's not what... But it's annoying, man. Like, in the world, 7 billion plus, you need to say that your belief structure encompasses all 7 billion? Like, how is that possible? Like, even mine is pretty, it wouldn't fit in most situations. Good morning. I mean, there's a lot of situations that it would be difficult to fit in. Like on a global scale, am I boycotting iPhones, Nike, and all the mega companies that do most of their work in other countries and don't pay them? I'm not even researching that shit. But I'm aware of it, but I'm not. When I was at the therapist, she tried to hit me, she tried to call me out. She said, didn't you say, isn't that contradicting yourself? And I said, ma'am, in high school, I had an album called Contradiction. Don't go there. And then I tried to put her up on this concept so one of the issues I have with the therapist, or anybody, but the therapist, she went to school, she learned her whatever, so she probably studied Freud and all those guys. Most of those guys have been discounted as the years go on. Freud wasn't for women, she's a woman, so if Freud was alive, if she was living in Freud's time, she wouldn't even have, because according to Freud, he just da-da-da-da-da. Black people weren't ever, there's parts of history where when it came to like, well, black people are just stupid. Finished. So her canon of information, her knowledge is, and I don't know her grades, I don't know how long she's been doing her job, blah, blah, blah. I'm just saying, I'm coming with now I don't know if it's a new idea, maybe somebody's out there writing a thesis on this concept. Maybe I'm just stupid. But either way, I'll say something and she'll just be like, so contradiction. Actually, it's a cognitive dissonance. I mean, that's one thing. That's a field in itself. But, or here's another one. I briefly read about it, heard about it, but the ability to hold two contrasting ideas at the same time and still function. But the one I was formulating was, I call it oscillation. If you remember 3D videos back in the day, I guess they still exist. But there's like two frames and they kind of go back and forth or alternate, and that's what makes the full picture. So we humans are alternating between different states all the time. That's what makes us us. And I had this thought years ago. I was trying to work it out, and I remember I was talking to one of my students, and yeah, that's interesting, adult student. But if I were, I said this to her, and she's just like looking at me like I'm not an idiot. I guess she's looking at me like, you're not understanding what I'm saying. I get that look a lot. But it's not that I don't understand, it's you don't understand. It's deeper than what you just said. I'm usually like, when people hit me with conspiracies, did you hear that? And I might say, I usually lead with, I don't really get into conspiracy because it will drive me crazy. Like, in passing, people, oh, that, da, da, da. But I'm actually going to research it. I'm the guy writing on the wall. Beautiful mind up in that bitch. But my whole thing with like conspiracies, of course, like how, like, if you had a child, right? Do you tell your child everything that's going on? Like you just, mommy, what was that sound in your bedroom last night? You say, well, son, we were making babies. Like this is a 3-year-old. Like you break it down from at 3? Or when you come, like, you don't tell them everything. So technically, some parents, now some actually do. I met a lady who said her parents used to play adult movies on the TV when she was young. So she's kind of whatever. Like, okay, that. Who am I to judge? But hey, I found out about the birds and bees from a dictionary. One day I had a thought. I said, where do babies come from? As I was on the toilet. And I thought, do they just fall into the toilet? Now, I didn't have a family where I could ask my parents, ask my brother. I mean, I guess I could, but it wasn't that kind of family dynamic. So we had the encyclopedias in our house. We still got them. They could be thrown away, but whatever. So I go in there, I research it, and boom, I started the life of me. Anything I need to know, research it. But like if you're not telling someone the whole story, technically isn't that a conspiracy? You're hiding. Like people tell the truth, but they hide things. Conspiracy. People change the details a little bit. Conspiracy. People tell you the parts that you need to know, but not the full picture. Conspiracy. Like that's preservation. Like if I make a video and I fall, I will probably edit that fall out of the video because I don't want to look stupid. Or I might put it in, but highlight it to make it look like I wanted to fall. Like, why wouldn't people do that throughout history to benefit their own needs? Like, that just seems like a very matter-of-fact thing. I mean, I wear a hat because my hair no longer grows. So I wear a hat. There was a time when I wasn't wearing a hat and everyone was watching me and making fun of me. Yeah, they were making fun of me. But yeah, so I wear a hat. Conspiracy. But you know, there's bigger the world's a big place. So the same person who would hide this information over here, why wouldn't they hide bigger information over there? Like that just and then why wouldn't they hide the fact that they're hiding it? Like that blows my mind. Like that, it's so elementary, so basic. Like a little baby does something wrong, what do? They hide it. Like, this is something ingrained in us. In the Bible, Adam and Eve, they ate the fruit. What do? They try to hide themselves. Conspiracy. And then as time goes on, it gets buried. Like, I got videos on YouTube that nobody has seen because they're like 10 years old. Am I hiding them? Not really. Good morning. Am I hiding them? No. But they just don't come up anymore. When I meet people, I don't lead with, I used to live in Japan for 15 years. I'm a rapper. I broke the Guinness record. I climbed Mount Fuji. Why would I? Now, am I hiding it? No. But why would I lead with that? Only if they said, I always wanted to climb Mount Fuji. I'm like, I climbed Mount Fuji. I like to, whatever. But yeah, man, conspiracy. So I believe in most of them. Like, I believe they're like, there was my nephew gave me a book to read where it talked about how they indoctrinated slaves, something to that effect. Now, I never read the book. I don't go out of my way to look for these kind of books. And it was a small book, so I'm reading it, and it's just like, makes sense. And then I try to look up information about the book and couldn't find anything. But for example, what they were doing is they would take the strongest male slave and beat him in front of his wife, maybe castrate him, and then they do this in front of all the other slaves. So then the other slaves would see that being the biggest and the strongest doesn't matter, and then the women would see that the male, I'm paraphrasing, I read a while ago, but the male, the master has the power, the slave male doesn't. So then the females would fetishize the masters and dehumanize the male slaves, and then they would teach that to their children. So after generations of this, the slaves would, and the book goes on and on to explain how that process worked. And then I was trying to, like, place it in today's context. I guess that makes sense. But I had to let that book go because it would just make me mad. What can I do with that information? Plus, as I looked on the internet, there's a whole bunch of people debunking it. So it's like, but I guess at the end of the day, when it comes to conspiracy, my rule has always been, by me knowing this, and this could be anything, like by me knowing that Katie Jenner or Kardashian is XYZ, does that make me rich? Does that make me happy? Does it bring me anything of value? Now, if I'm on a talk show or a game show, they be asking the random ass questions, and you have to know random ass things. So maybe in that aspect, be on some Slumdog Millionaire. How'd you know that? Well, I was sitting at the table and some bullshit came on, and then they said that, and I just remember that's some bullshit. But for most conspiracy, like the earth is flat, does that affect me right now? Like, am I going to a job interview and they're like, we will not hire you unless you tattoo on your arm the earth is flat? And I really want to work at that job, but it goes against everything I believe in. But they want me to tattoo it on my arm to show that I believe it. No. You believe, like, I wouldn't have arguments. We never went to the moon. Why am I arguing about that? Are we going to the moon? Now, if we were going to the moon, but clearly we never been to the moon, I don't think I'd get in the rocket because we never been there. That seems like a death trap. But shit like that, I don't really want to waste Now, I think most of these conversations come up when people are high, drunk, or whatever. So you have those conversations. Like I saw a meme. Someone's like, why is there a K in know? Like to know, knowledge. Why is this letter silent? And it's funny, I guess. But because it is. Why do we have 2 eyes instead of 3? Why did Michael Jackson say he instead of ho ho? Don't care. Like, they all fall in this I really don't care. It's not even funny. Unless the only time I'd find those funny is if it was in written form, like a lyric. Like, I'm like listening to some song on the radio, I'm like, yeah, this is me, some rapper I don't know, on the track. I find it comical that people think that the world is flat. And the guy in the seat that's driving heard this and he laughed. He's talking to me? He has a white shirt with kanji on, his name is Matt. Now that would be interesting to me. So specific. But just random shit, I don't. And this is across the board. I saw something a friend of mine posted. He's like, I don't care if you A or B, if you C or D, just live your life. That's a beautiful sentiment. But, and this is where I oscillate, or go back and forth. Yeah, I believe everyone should do as they want to do as they please, you know. And I don't want to impede on anyone's personal space. But good morning. But at the end of the day, there's certain, like, I'm passing this dog park. When I see owners that don't put leashes on their dogs, yeah, they want their dog to be free. Yeah, they want blah, blah, blah. But I do not want the chance that dog comes over and bites me on the ankle. Dog got to be on a leash. I'm impeding on their belief system. Like, I know a lot of people drink. There's not everyone, but a lot of people do. I got into an issue with this one. I was talking to some girl. We were in the dating phase, and I just said, you know, I don't really care for people who get drunk. I gave couple stories. She says, well, I don't get drunk, I get tipsy. Now, I know there's different types of drunk. There's fall asleep drunk. There's argue about random shit drunk. There's cry about your past drunk. There's fun drunk. You know, they're just fun people. There's touchy-grabby drunk. Drunk. There's not really much happens drunk. And on and on. There's different flavors of being drunk. I've never been drunk, so I don't know which kind I would be. Assuming since I talk about random shit in my sober mind, maybe I'd be angry drunk. All this pent up whatever would come out then, or sleepy drunk. Who knows? One day we'll find that out. One day. But I was just saying, you know, I personally don't like drunk people. She said I get tipsy. And then she started, you know, I get tipsy and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And the more she tried to explain it, the more I'm like, this isn't going to work out. Because clearly she said this is what she likes to do. My therapist said that. I said something like what I always say, I don't drink, I don't like drunks. And she said, well, she said, well, you know, sometimes people like to drink just to get the... I don't need a reason why people drink. I just personally... So I'm a minority in that area. Every now and then I come across people who don't drink. I had a coworker who was Muslim, so he didn't drink religiously. I had another friend, I don't know why he didn't drink, he just didn't drink. But, you know, is this still recording? Yo, so I don't know what happened, but it looks like the footage either stopped itself. 30 minutes. I don't know, man. We're gonna see what happens. Because either I've been talking to myself and it didn't record, or it just makes a new file after 30 minutes. But that doesn't seem right, because I do recall recording longer. I don't know. Do not know. So, yeah, we'll find out when we get to the end. But yeah, it's summertime, and I ain't done anything. I mean, I did my walk and talks. I go to the gym. But part of me, not a big part, but like I wanted to go to a theme park. We got Dorney Park and Hershey Park, Pennsylvania. And I thought when I came home that I would by then have met a partner and we would go out there. That ain't happening. Well, the summer's not over yet, so it could happen. But you know, as I said, as I started with this video, I got a whole bunch of shit that I'm doing today, and I'm excited. I'm excited to learn the apps for the application. I'm excited to go to the gym and burn some calories. I'm excited to go to the open mic. Like, I could imagine there's someone who, very similar to my situation, and the way they're dealing with it is like they're locked away in their room under the covers, crying themselves to sleep. Not saying that my way's better or worse, but actually, I couldn't even do that in my house. Like, if let's say I stay up all night working on something, and then I'm sleeping, and it's like 8 o'clock, because normally I'm up around 6. Let's say it's 8 o'clock. Look at all these bike people. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Like, if I'm in bed at 8 o'clock, my dad's like, why are you in bed? What's wrong with you? You sick? And even when I had my wisdom teeth taken out and I was just feeling a little out of the weather, he's like, you sick? Go to the hospital. Like, I don't need to go to the hospital. I just need to lay in his bed. So yeah, I like, grief and being depressed was never a thing in my house. Bugs in my face. I mean, I don't think so much about the past, because I'm trying to keep it moving forward. But when I graduated, I was thinking about this. When I graduated from college, first in the family to graduate from a 4-year degree, 4-year school, these bugs really love me. Actually, it was a spider. No, it was like a radioactive mosquito. And I don't want to get bit by a radioactive mosquito, because I don't want to be mosquito man. Man, these bugs are out here. But, so yeah, I don't do camping. Clearly. But, I graduated from a 4-year degree. And I think my mom came, my aunt came, and my nephew, and my uncle. I think I got 3 cards, one from my mom, one from my dad, and that was that. Wow, this bug is persistent. But yeah, that's all I got. Now, I didn't go to school to get anything from my family. I didn't go to school with anticipating of having a parade in my name. But it was just like a regular day, more or less. And then the next day, so what kind of job can you get? So how much money you making now? So how are you going to pay off your student loans? When I got accepted into I got put on the waiting list for NYU, there was no fanfare. There wasn't, how are we going to get money for Matthew to go to NYU, a prestigious school, for a program that nobody knows what the hell it was. But it was such a perfect program for me. Like, it was just so random. Technology and music, which I still do to this day. Wow, this bug is like, I think the bug wants to be in my video. But you can't, buddy. You can't. This is my video. When I went off to Japan, there was no going away party. And when I came home, there was no welcome back party. Like, throughout my life, I don't recall any like fanfare over anything I did. Like, I'm pretty sure that when I took my first step, there was no pictures or no hurrahs. It was just, all right, you walk now. When are you gonna go to work? I'm not trying to say that. Where's my little snake from? But that's just the reality. So I think that, because wow, this bug is, maybe it's a different bug, but I want to say it's the same bug that's been following me. You know that commercial? I don't know if it's well, I don't think it's an international thing, but in the States, it's a Google commercial, anti-Google. And there's this guy singing, every step, maybe they changed the word, every page you watch, I'll be watching you. That's so crazy. Because remember when Google was king, getting all that data and blah, blah, blah. Now, time has changed. We're like, we don't want you to be watching us. But yeah, I don't recall being pushed to do like when I meet people and they're like, you should be proud of the things you do, you should be impressed, and you should be all like, but then I don't recall anyone ever being impressed or proud of the things I do. You know? I mean, it's not across the board, of course. People are proud, but like my dad recently, anytime someone comes over, he'll be like, yeah, my son's a genius. I don't know what that means. I need context. People don't give me context. They might say stuff. I need context. What does that mean? But he says it and he's being sincere. Which, good morning. This is a new thought. I think at times, because my dad, when we're watching Jeopardy, he leaves it on. Like, he wouldn't watch it if I wasn't sitting there. But he leaves it on. Because I know some shit. Like, last night there was a question, what do you call the musical thing that records sound? I'm like, sonograph. Now, see, right, the answer was phonograph. Now, you didn't see that thing. I'm pretty sure you ain't watched Jeopardy, and you weren't going to fact check me, but my point is, I want you to know that I answered it. It was still wrong, but I was really close. I was going between the two. And I think my dad likes seeing that. Like, every now and then, he'd be like, how come you ain't making $1 million? And I guess that's a compliment. But there's so many factors, you know? So many factors. So many factors. Like someone pointed out, I mentioned Tesla guy, Musk. Is it Musk? Elon Musk? Yeah. And I was just making a point offhand. He's like, well, but he's a rich da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. There's a lot of rich people that are still failures. We know that. But in general, having that boost. Like, I'm doing motion graphics, right? My computer's okay. But if I had that new M2 13-inch MacBook Pro, or if I held off to get a 15-inch M2 MacBook Pro, man, you would see much more effects because, shit, my stream last night was all choppy because apparently you can't, like, do all this extra shit when you're streaming. So, like, in my mind, if I'm a genius, now, of course, I don't know where the money would come from for my family to support my geniusness growing up. My family worked in a factory, so there was no, I'm gonna take my son to the supercomputer place where I happen to work at and let him play around. Steve Jobs, Bill Gates. Not happening. Or, since I'm a successful musician, I'm going to teach my son everything he needs to know, even if he doesn't like it. Like, that was not my upbringing. So I am the way I am. And some things are like stone over here. Very hard to shift. People just like, just do it! I don't wear Nike. I don't like people telling me what to do. I don't wear Nikes because everyone else wears Nikes. But I think it's because I don't like no brand telling me what to do. Although, or I don't like that particular just do it. I like Apple think differently. I mean, I always have, and it just kind of more or less support what I've been doing. Anyway, I was planning to make this like a very short video, but you could see, hopefully, if you could see more than 20 minutes, then the whole thing recorded. You're only seeing the second half, it's because something happened, and it sucks to be me. Maybe you would have wanted to hear all that, but it's gone. It'll never be heard again. Wow, this bug is like circle. I guess he wants to say goodbye. All right, so the bug here, I'm gonna speak on his behalf. He just wants to say, be good, don't kill his family. They just out here trying to feed, and peace.
We are going to the mall.
I walk to the river, or the stream.
Car broke down, and that's the only way we could have get there.